Well, hey, my friend. Welcome to Bloggers on Fire, the go to podcast for bloggers who want to grow and monetize their blog. I'm so excited you're here. I'm your host, Melanie Ferguson. Well, hey, my friend. Welcome back to the podcast. This week, I wanted to chat about something, it's Chat GPT. So, a lot of you have a love hate relationship with this platform, but I want to just tell you it is here to stay. In fact, they have just recently launched in beta a new search platform to rival Google, my friend. It's called Search GPT. And I learned about it through Neil Patel. So, a lot of you may or may not know about Neil Patel. He writes a blog all about SEO. In fact, he is the owner and author of Ubersuggest, the robust SEO keyword search engine. So, I will link everything in the show notes below that pertain to this episode, but just know that that is the resource that I got all of this information from. Now, I'm sharing this with you not to overwhelm you. I really want you to take this and just put it in your back pocket, put it to use for you the way that you think is best. For me, I am going to be doing a couple of adjustments. I'm not going to spend a whole heck of a lot of time on this for my personal blog, but I did think it was very highly relevant and very important to get out there and share with you right now. All right, so Search GPT is in beta right now. They're only releasing it to a few people, but what it is a search engine just like Google that is going to serve up results when people type in their questions. However, they are going to take it one step further and they are going to make it super clear where the source came from, and it will be clickable and easy to recognize. I have gone on and seen what this looks like, and it's way better than what Google is offering up in the search engine right now. So I'm hoping that it takes off a little better than what we've seen already. Now, these are the ways that Search GPT decides what posts and what blogs to serve up. I think that's kind of the important part for us, right? And I just want you to know that even though this is to help us rank on Search GPT and hopefully get back some of that Google traffic that we missed, we're going to get it somewhere else. It's diversifying our traffic sources. I think that just all of these tips in general will help us get seen easier and more prolifically than not having these things in place. And that is why I'm sharing them with you today. So there are 6 of them, and I'm going to put them in the ranking order that Neil found was the best way for you to get discovered over on Search GPT. And the first one is relevancy. So, relevancy refers to SEO. So, make sure that you are relevant to the topic that your blog is about. And I know that we beat a dead horse with niches and things of that nature, but this is really just really honing in on your keywords. So, you may be a lifestyle site, you may share a lot of different things. However, honestly, you need to lean into one of them at least for search engine traffic purposes. Because, my friend, right now, the only ones winning in lifestyle are the big guys. The big guys are the players that are winning in lifestyle. So if you do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, like myself, I know my blog began as crafts, but now I have a lot of recipes that rank. And then I sprinkle in a little bit of different posts that are roundups and Amazon sales. So I think that if we can lean towards one with our keyword research, it's really going to lend to the relevancy of our site. And that's the number one thing that these, I would call them almost like bots, can recognize. So they glom onto the keywords. And if they're like, oh, this site is relevant for that exact keyword, they will send traffic to it. All right. So, relevancy number 2 in order is brand mentions. So, brand mentions, I that means your brand, where all it's mentioned online. I think that that can be something where you can look for link opportunities. Backlinks obviously have always been huge for blogs and for getting traffic, but they're even more important now. And so if you can get strategic about collaborating with other bloggers that have a little more authority than your blog, that are still keyword relevant, and you guys can piggyback off of each other. Just one time is plenty. And and maybe just a few link dropping, like there are link dropping services where people will literally go into the relevant groups for your keywords, relevant groups on social media, and drop links for your blog post based on topic. So that is an option too. I know roundups are a little bit out, but I think sprinkled here and there with just a handful of players is really still very key for keeping yourself relevant with these brand mentions. All right, number 3 is reviews. Now, you might think, why would I have reviews if I'm just a home decor blog? Unless you're doing design services or selling a product. Well, you might have reviews that just basically are client testimonials saying how much they love watching you on social media, or how much they love reading your blog, or how much they love your tips on this, that, or the other, which were your keywords, right? So reviews on Google are absolute gold. You don't need a whole lot of them. You don't, but they need to be current and they need to be relevant. So if you have not yet, my friend, added your blog over to Google as a business, stop right now and go over and do that for yourself. You will thank me later. That will really boost your blog in the eyes of Google as a legit site. So go to Google, get your reviews. You can also have reviews on other sites like I believe it's Clutch and Trust something. I'll link them all in the show notes below. But reviews is number 3. Number 4 is authority. Now, we all know about blog authority and making sure that your blog authority is steadily increasing as time passes. And you can do that just by having an online presence. So, a really strong online presence, you want to make sure that you at least have secured your blog name on all the socials, even if you do not currently put any type of effort into that platform. You want to have your blog name over there. Okay. So, even if you don't like TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or what have you, or Pinterest. If you don't do any of those things, that's fine. But you need to have an online presence. And the more places that the crawling bots can find your URL, the better. And these sites have high domains. Have you ever gone to search something and you see that your pin maybe is ranking, and it's because Pinterest is like a 99. It's like a 99 domain authority. So that's what it means by authority. You want to have an online presence that's solid across all platforms. All right. Then number 5 is age. Now, there's not a lot you can do about that if you are a brand new blogger. However, your that will be offset by backlinks. So even if you are a young site, if you can get in with some higher authority blogs, people who've been in doing this a lot longer than you, then you will make up for the age situation. If you have been around for a while, this is just bonus for you. Now, number 6, last but not least, is recommendations. And I feel like this one is lending more towards e-commerce and people who provide services for a fee. And that would be basically where are recommending you online. Now, also, when sites do roundups with the best blah, 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 for the keyword, and they rank their favorites, if you can fall into one of those, that counts. But a lot of times it's out of your hands because it's based on how high a commission those businesses pay to be in those spots on that person's post, right? So recommendations is last. So I wouldn't give it a lot of worry or concern. But if you do run a site with sales or a service or a SaaS product, then you're definitely going to want to make sure you pay attention to that and try to get in on some of those lists. I think that you can go to any of the keyword research tools and look up gaps, content gaps, and backlink gaps, and where you can go and fill in where maybe there's a broken link from your competitor. So keeping in mind recommendations is key. So what am I going to do with all this? Y'all, you might be like, "Oh my gosh, Melanie, good grief. This is a lot." Okay, it's really not, my friend. Listen, let's take a deep breath. Hold it, exhale. None of this has to be hard. This is what I'm gonna do. You do you, girl, but this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to take a moment, go to the front page of my site, my homepage, make sure that I am, representing all of my socials clearly so that it's easy that you can see the interlinking. I'm on all the platforms. I want to make sure that I have listed any awards I have gotten that pertain to my niche. Anything, even in a past life, if you don't have current awards in your current niche, maybe there's something in a past life that you could kinda twist around to make look relevant. You were the top blank when you were in college. You were the top blank in high school. You don't need to put when it was. You just put top blank, and that will suffice. And then any recognition in your industry. So I'm going to go in and make sure that I actually link the brands that I've worked with. I think that that will show some authority and some relevancy if I use keywords to link the brands that I've worked with. I know most of us just use little like logos and say as seen on, as featured on, I've worked with, and it's just these logos. And that is not crawlable by the bots. You've got to have actual words and links, and I think that that's something I can definitely make a tweak on. I'm going to get a couple of maybe 3 of my top followers or blog readers, the people you know who they are. Those people who comment on every blog post or reply to every email or on your socials that are always there and present, and ask them to write me a testimonial, and better than that, I'm gonna write it for them and ask their permission to post it and see if it sounds like something they would say. And then that will help, with that reviews and recommendations part that the search engines are looking for. And even if I don't have like a product per se that I am selling on those client testimonials, I'm just going to talk about how I deliver on my promises or how this blog post was so key in that person finding success in a keyword, for my niche. So, make sure that you have a professional website, forward facing, that it's clean and the colors, are good, readable. And then you want to be active on social media somewhere. So that is one of the factors that Neil Patel mentions as key for being found in these search engines for extra traffic. Just being active on social media and then regularly publishing. Regularly publishing, what does that look like for you, my friend? Get into a rhythm of making sure that you post on a regular schedule, whatever that might look like, once a month, once a week, twice a week, what days, when. Make sure it is regular. And that is it. That is my tips for you on Search GPT, as well as just getting your blog easy to search for extra traffic. So I hope that you're diversifying your traffic. I hope that you take these tips, put them to use for your blog today so that you will be here tomorrow. All right, my friend, until next time, stay creative.